Hi, everybody. Welcome to, Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 12 of the Your Relationship Workbench series. This is actually also the final episode of this series. And I was really looking, well, first, I'm Geoff Laughton, in case you don't know that, your host. And I am your relationship architect. Yourrelationshiparchitect.com is one of the places. And now here in the Your Relationship Workbench group, which will be continuing on past this series that I'm wrapping up today, with other things I'll share about at the end. But today, what I wanted to connect with all of you about are my thoughts and my feelings as well about, well, now what? I've spent the last 4 weeks sharing everything I've shared here. And by the way, that just makes me think that if you have people in your life that you think would enjoy these videos that I've done and they don't do Facebook, your Relationship Architect channel on YouTube has all of them. Anyway, when I look at what would I want to say to people about where do you go from here? What are the best ways forward for you, your life, and your relationship if you're in one? And if you're in the market for one, what should you be doing? And the very first thing that I'm aware of when I think about that is there's no, in my opinion anyway, there's no additional level of security or certainty about what's next. There's no overt reassurances that about where we are in relation to what's occurred over the last month and a half or two and what lies ahead. We fundamentally are not in a hugely different place now with different parts of the country reopening than we were when the country shut down. It's all a crapshoot. And what that really reveals more than anything else, it's just more in our face, what's always been true, which is the entirety of life is a crapshoot. We really like to know what we can count on, what we can depend on. And this is the key thing that I think is the most important priority for moving forward in the best possible way, is to recognize that while we've never been able to control much of anything, this whole pandemic, speaking for myself, has made it crystal clear about the one thing that I must control, and is the only thing that any of us really have any control over, which are my behaviors, my perspectives, and the way I relate to any circumstance, no matter how joyful and no matter how awful. So to me, I'm going to suggest that where we go from here is primarily continuing to live one day at a time. That's all we really have anyway, right? That we continue any of the new habits, new behaviors, any of the things you've been trying to do differently, any of the work, inner work that you may have been doing on yourself during these times, that all needs to continue. Don't stop doing that. I think the second thing that you do is, if you can, you actually double down on any of the practices that you have, spiritual practices, exercise practices, spiritual practices of meditation, mindfulness, whatever it is that most helps you be in this body, fully present, understanding that if you stay present, whatever's happening out around you, you don't have to go tilt over and collapse and lose yourself in fear, worry, doubt, whatever. Those are all going to come and go. So stay here. And if you have a belief in any kind of higher power, if you have some spiritual path that works for you, I'm kind of a mutt. I have a few, so I kind of do the hybrid thing. But I can tell you that part of what has kept me in really pretty good shape through this whole thing so far has been I have doubled down on any and all practices that keep my body well, but more importantly, keep my emotional and mental hygiene at a pretty solid, dependable level. And for me, that boils down to, what do I do to connect? If I'm connected to my own heart, first and foremost, I can deal with just about anything. Suffering really goes up exponentially when we allow fear to shut down our heart. So I'm working when fear comes up for me, and I don't want to BS anybody. I have days where I'm afraid. I have times where I worry. I'm just really dedicated to not letting them take me down, but to let those come through. Feel them, let them leave. Oh, now they're coming in from this side. Feel it, breathe through it, do a little Lamaze, let it move. But if I'm here, and for me, because my spirituality is really important to me, if I'm here, then there's a degree to which I'm in this whole vertical axis from the divine to the earth herself. And in there, all kinds of chaos can be happening. But I'm okay. I'm solid. So, discipline, where you're letting this whole thing break down your self-discipline, please work on not letting that continue. You're going to have bad days, okay. But it's the discipline and the will to really hang on to and live in, I am going to get through this. And I'm going to get through it as well as I possibly can. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, to relationship in particular, I think this time a lot of relationships are unraveling. And in my opinion, part of why a lot of them are is because there's many, many relationships that are built on illusion and denial and avoidance and distraction. That's the glue that has kept a lot of relationships intact, if not healthy and thriving. So having all of those things removed, this is an unprecedented opportunity to get real. So if your relationship has felt horrible for a long time, and maybe you even tried to get help, and that hasn't made any difference. This time may be the time where you realize, I need to do what I've got to do to get out of this, to complete it, so that I'm available for whatever life has in store next for me. Or it's 50-50 or better than 50-50, right? Maybe you're having problems 30-40% of the time. Well, this is an amazing opportunity, amazing time to work on being able to get it healthier, happier, more fulfilling, more conscious, more aware. So one exercise I'm going to offer you is, if you are in a relationship and, you're both getting on each other's nerves more after however many weeks we've all been cooped up, a great thing to do could be to have a lovely dinner together at home. If you have children, you'll need to do this after they're in bed. And share, what is it that you have always most appreciated about your relationship and about your partner? Share, respond, let in, really listen. Then another day, check in with each other about what you each believe your role or roles are as a husband or a wife, partner. What do you think your roles are in your relationship? And then also write down for yourself what it is that you think is expected of you by your partner. And what do you expect of yourself? So each of you can do that exercise and then share with each other. Because for all you know, particularly if you're like me and you've been in a relationship for decades or even a decade, you will probably be blown away to discover how much you are making up about how your partner relates to you in terms of your role with them, and how much you think they expect that they're going to look at you like you just fell off a turnip truck. I've never expected X of you. So it'll give you a reality check about how accurately you really know each other and how accurately and timely that you know what you really want and expect from the relationship and your partner. And where there's a big gap, there you have more intimate conversation to be having with each other about what could you both newly create with each other going forward. In my experience, you have to do that pretty regularly anyway, just to keep things fresh and to keep things from kind of dying on the vine. So right now, if you have time, and if you're both working, then you have to find it on the days off, or carve out some evening time, which is actually another tip. Spend more time at night with each other than with the TV, the laptop, the iPad, the iPhone, whatever. Actually see what can get generated if the two of you actually are just being with each other. Maybe having a glass of wine and just talking, connecting, eye contact for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Particularly if you have kids, after they're in bed, sit next to each other, hold each other's hands, and just look each other in the eye, even for 10 seconds, as a way of letting go of the day that's happened and be present in this moment and share something you love about the other. Even if you gotta dredge it up because you're tight, contracted, exhausted, it'll be worth the effort. I promise. So, where we go from here is more into the unknown, more into taking charge of what growth, what opening, what expansion you're going to create. It's up to you. No one's going to do it for you. What do you want to create? What do you want to overhaul? What are you ready to renovate or just flat ass tear the house down, metaphorically speaking, and rebuild from the ground up? And that includes your relationship with yourself, not just if you're in one with another person. There you go. Those are my thoughts. And I really, for those of you who have been coming live, thank you very much for having done that so often over the last month. For those who have been watching these on YouTube or that have been watching them here in this group, thank you for that. I hope that you have found the content to be helpful. And please know that if you are catching up on any of these, then and questions emerge or comments, disagreements you have, God willing, I'm not going anywhere. So you're welcome to either email me privately at Geoff, Geoff, at yourrelationshiparchitect.com, or put comments here or send me a private Facebook message. I'm open to all of it. I did all this to genuinely be of service to people in this funky, weird time. And that's really my whole life purpose. So, because this is completing doesn't mean that if I can be of service to you in any way, a lot of ways to reach out to me. Lastly, I want to let everybody know that while this group came into being as a container for this 4-week series, I'm going to keep it open. It's still going to be private. And I'm going to be giving you, tools and ideas, inquiry that you're going to be welcome to engage in if you wish. So beginning a week from Monday, every Monday for the foreseeable future, every Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, so that's 8 p.m. for you East Coasters and 5 p.m. For you Westies. I'm just going to do a short 5-10 minute video. It'll be live, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I just know it'll be about relationship with life, relationship with partner, relationship with self, maybe occasional just life, what the hell, musings. So beginning next Monday, that's going to be the 4th. So on the 11th, every Monday, I'll be popping in live. You can count on me to keep sharing stuff that I run across too, that I think will be useful. You're a member of this group. That means you can share stuff in here. anybody that, gets turned on to useful learning, useful writings, videos, put them in here. And if anything's inappropriate, I'll take it out. But you'd have to work really hard to freak me out about anything. So this is really here for all of you in the group to be in community in this area. So it'll be here until it ain't. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be a resource for you to whatever extent you have and will. And I wish you nothing but continued health and strength and determination in what lies ahead. And remember that nothing can shake you away from yourself if you don't let it. Be well, stay safe. Hope to see you in here in the future. Bye-bye.